What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what is really prompting today's massacre, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. Starting off, SoFi is down 4.1%. Market's been open just shy of around an hour. 675 the low, 717 is the high. There was actual news coming out from SoFi itself. So Galileo launches instant account verification and machine learning risk score to secure financial transactions. So I think that's generally good. Another good building block for SoFi, and clearly shows that they are trying to transition to be more seen as tech. And I think that's good, right? They're learning, adapting to what the market does truly want. But is this a reason to buy or sell SoFi? Not really. But again, it's a good building block. Is this a reason why SoFi is down as much as it is? Definitely not. Rather, a lot of just broader fears. And so right now the fear and greed index is pulling down slightly, so still under the fear category. And there's a lot of articles coming out already spreading FUD, or just kind of uneasiness, if that's even a word, about tomorrow's CPI. So you have that, and then even after hours today, the presidential debate. So a lot of people are just kind of on edge about those 2 points. And this is why you do see a lot of growth stocks going down at the same time as the likelihood of a 50 basis point cut going down. So basically, looks like around 1 day ago, even 1 week ago, and even 1 month ago, it was roughly 51%, and now it is 27% likelihood of, again, a 50 basis point cut. It's kind of funny. Actually, no, to be honest, it's not funny. It's kind of very frustrating. But even pre-market, you had SoFi running up and it was green. And then as soon as the market opened, all hell broke loose and it sold off. So again, the broader market is selling off at the same time. But SoFi does have a certain level of manipulation. And this right here is manipulation, because you kind of have to look at what was done first thing. So you do see a overwhelming amount of calls being purchased. So essentially what that does mean, because obviously a call, or I guess when I'm saying calls being purchased, a call being done, you can sell a call, right? And so essentially what happens is that entities, large entities, sell calls first thing, and then they tank the price. And thus, this is how they pretty much get free money, if that makes sense. So it's all correlated. A lot of manipulation happens, and this is why you do see the difference between, for instance, just throwing it out there, Palantir. So Palantir had that sell-off, but it did recover. SoFi, though, has a whole different level of liquidity through options, and not necessarily the best. SoFi is very heavily shorted, whereas other stocks, some aren't, such as, like I said, Palantir, PayPal, and whatever else. So there is, yes, a lot of kind of macro concerns right now, but this is very resemblant of options manipulation. So it is what it is at this stage. I'm pretty sure a lot of people accepted SoFi for what it is right now, just a heavily manipulated stock. Right now, shorts are increasing net 206,000 shares. They were very active first thing as well. You can tell that based on the chart that I'll show you in a second, but 18.12% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 189.65 million shares overall are being shorted. Utilization 49.18, short score is 70.59. So shorts, once again, are just loving today. And oddly, I did anticipate shorts to be relatively quiet. So they're not really doing all that much. And over this last week, they've increased, I think it was 8 million or 9 million, 5 million, 5 million, 4 million. Yesterday was 1.3. So today is rather quiet. Most likely they're going to be waiting for what happens at the debate after hours again, and what happens for CPI and PPI. So shorts could most likely be ready to pounce, and through right here, so the available shares, you do see in excess of 10 million shares available. So looks like entities have been loading up, so this is why, it's a lot of shares are available to be shorted, and cost to borrow average is fairly low in general, so it's more of a rinse and repeat cycle. Looking at options, so 2.13 million in calls, 551,000 in puts. 51% of all the options being done so far are optimistic and bullish, but like I said, with shorts increasing, Obviously, a lot of that is just hedging, as well as just this right here. There was clearly a lot of entities selling calls, and that's where that came from. This is the current calls that are being done today. So consensus around that 7-ish to 750. And then looking at puts, you do see a consensus for it to be sub $6.50. And this is the current open interest right now. So you do see around 7,000 at that 650, 11,000 at that 7, and then 7,000 at that 750. So surprisingly, with yesterday being Monday, didn't really increase the same as I normally anticipate, because usually the first trading day of the week, it goes up by like 40%, but that didn't really happen yesterday. So maybe, I don't know, whoever's hedging, it knows that the broader market might get pulled down this week. We'll just have to wait and see. Dark pool is very active today. So again, the market's been open around 1 hour, and these are all the transactions occurring on the dark pool as of right now. So a lot of transactions, and these are only the ones above $100,000. These are some of the transactions occurring on the secondary market above, again, $100,000. Even after hours yesterday, you see a lot of abnormal transactions. So maybe some entities did know in advance that this morning it was going to sell off or whatever, because 1.29, 1.7, 1.3, 11 million. So a lot of big entities were kind of maybe preparing. Again, a lot of different things. Today, I was anticipating, especially it selling off as much as it did. Maybe David did give a new rating, but there has been no new analyst ratings since last month. So it's been a while since David reiterated his crappy rating. So no doubtably, with a lot of fear, I would pretty much, it's a safe bet to assume that he will give a reiteration probably in the next week, just to say, oh, $3, and that will cause a mass panic within SoFi. So we'll just have to wait and see from that. But aside from that, no actual articles, just a lot of regurgitation from today's recent news, yesterday's transcripts as well. But other than that, nothing whatsoever. So it's relatively quiet from that front. Aside from that, like I said, today's more of a technical driven day, and SoFi is somewhat breaking down with it at $6.81. It is trading between these 2 points right here. So this S2 and this S1. So 690 will be that next strong resistance / target that you'll want to watch for SoFi to hopefully regain. And then $6.67, which wasn't touched today, that is going to be the next strong support. Very wide gaps, so still anticipate a lot of volatility in the foreseeable future, but it does look as though the market wants to kind of drag SoFi down, and just a lot of stocks with it at the same time. And on the actual chart itself, like I said, yesterday was a big day. It kind of held on for the most part to that 50-day moving average, but today is that dagger. So obviously larger entities just want to bring SoFi down below that. And plus, on a side note, it's not necessarily just SoFi that is breaking down on a technical aspect. It is pretty much everyone, right? So that's not going to be the best scenario for SoFi, but as of right now, you do see it very oversold at 16, a bearish deviation. But if there's a good piece of news that does come out, then you could see a little bit more of a value run potentially. But number of retail investors have been getting out. So that's pretty much a quick synopsis of exactly what has been happening with SoFi. So what is your thoughts? Have you been buying today? Did you buy the dip, or are you anticipating more of a further breakdown? Or are you concerned about the presidential debate that is after hours? I think it's at 9 Central, if I remember correctly, or my time might be wrong. But still, what is your thoughts on all that? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And with all that, I appreciate all of you watching.